What up, Okaloosa County? You are now rocking with your boy, Matt Bell, here at the 2020 Okaloosa Schools Academic Tournament. Today we have an elimination match between Choctaw and Niceville. We'll be right back with the team introductions and the action. Stay tuned.
It's your first time away from your new house, but you're not worried about that. You're thinking about how well he's handled moving to a new neighborhood.
Hey, Moms, watch this.
You're thinking he's not our shy little guy anymore. You're thinking, where did he learn that? You're not worried about if everything's okay back at your new house, because you have Cox Home Life. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life Security will take care of the rest.
Welcome back. Let's begin with introductions from Niceville.
Emily Wynn.
Nick Vanimwagen.
David Ott. Devin Tucker.
And on to Choctaw.
Derek Meacham.
Mason Newman.
Isabella Negron.
Jose Mireles.
All right, on to the action. Let's start with toss-up number 1. Your topic is social studies. This war began when one side gained a port on the Liaodong Peninsula called Port Arthur. Months after this war's battle, and that is Mason for Choctaw.
Russo-Japanese War.
That is correct. Your bonus number 1 in fine arts. Name these 19th century French painters for your first bonus. Unlike many impressionists, he did not paint the outdoors, preferring the racetrack or the ballet instead. It is Edgar Degas. And your second bonus, along with Paul Signac, he helped develop pointillism with works like the Eiffel Tower. By himself, this neo-impressionist created a Sunday afternoon on the island of Le Grand Jatte.
Duboisier.
Sorry, that's incorrect. It's Seurat. On to toss-up number 2, literature. The tattered soldier helps the youth pursue the tall man in this novel, whose main character deserts his regiment at first before returning to battle and seeing military action at the Battle of Chancellorsville. Name this Stephen Crane novel about the Civil War soldier, and that is Devin for Niceville.
The Red Badge of Courage.
The Red Badge of Courage is correct. Your bonus is in social studies. The swearing of this oath came after its participants were locked out of the Estates General. For your first bonus, identify this oath named after the indoor sporting venue where it was sworn, where delegates of the Third Estate pledged not to disband until they had a constitution.
Tennis court oath.
Tennis court oath.
Tennis court oath.
The tennis court oath is correct, and for your second bonus. The tennis court oath is identified by many as the beginning of this event that included the storming of the Bastille.
French Revolution.
French Revolution is correct. Toss-up number 3, math. Pencils and paper ready. In slope-intercept form, give the equation for the line connecting the points 2, -5 and 8, 13. I'm sorry you did not get that in. The answer we were looking for is y equals 3x minus 11. On to toss-up number 4, fine arts. Composer Claudio Monteverdi instructed musicians to do this with 2 fingers of their right hand, though this instruction only applies to string players. In jazz, bass players often use what Italian musical technique for plucking the strings of a violin? And that is Emily for Niceville.
Pizzicato.
That is correct. Your bonus, literature. His most famous novel includes the statements, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, Ignorance is strength. For your first bonus, name this British author.
George Orwell.
George Orwell is correct. And your second bonus. Orwell wrote a homage to this region of Spain about his experience in the Spanish Civil War, a region whose attempts at independence from Spain in 2017 ended with jail sentences for some in 2019.
Marina.
Just
No answer.
No answer given. It's Catalonia. On to toss-up 5, science. The vitamins pyridoxine, folate, thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin all have names abbreviated by what letter of the alphabet, followed by a number like 1, that is Nick for Niceville.
B.
B is correct. Your bonus is in miscellaneous. Give the first names of these characters in the Peppa Pig universe. Each name starts with the same letter as the animal. For your first bonus, sheep.
Susie.
Sally. Susie.
It's Susie, I think.
Susie.
Susie Sheep is correct.
Why do you know Peppa Pig?
And your second bonus, elephant.
Ellie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ellie.
Sorry, it's incorrect. It's Emily.
Emily, why do you know?
Toss-up 6, social studies. The last phase of this battle was fought over Rohrbach's Bridge that spanned the river for which the battle was named. Name this Civil War battle, and that is Isabella for Choctaw.
Antietam.
Antietam is correct. Bonus 6, literature. Name the birth countries of these winners of the Nobel Prize for Literature. Your first bonus, Patrick Modiano and Francois Mauriac.
France.
France is correct. And your second bonus, William Butler Yeats and Samuel Beckett.
Spain.
No. Great Britain.
America.
United States.
Sorry, it's incorrect. The answer is Ireland. Toss-up 7, literature. In this play, the drunk commoner Christopher Sly is dressed as a nobleman. A woman smashes a lute over the head of a suitor, while a man hits a priest and drinks communion wine at his wedding. Hortensio marries a rich widow, and Lucencio wins the beautiful Bianca, the young daughter of Nick for Niceville.
Taming of the Shrew.
Taming of the Shrew is correct. Your bonus is in math. Name these types of statistical plots. Your first bonus. This type summarizes data by marking the median, lower and upper quartile, and extreme outliers.
Box and whisker plot.
Box and whisker plot is correct, and your second bonus. This type shows how two variables are correlated. The coefficient R measures the strength of the correlation. Lines of best fit are often drawn on these plots.
I was going to say linear regression.
Is it scatter or linear? Scatter.
Scatter.
Scatter plot is correct. Toss-up 8, social studies. A set of glass benches called skyrisers was recently added to this device that was first built for the 1962 World's Fair. Painted in orbital olive and reentry red, its visitors get full views of the main landmarks of Washington State. Name this huge tower. This Devin for Niceville.
The Space Needle.
Space Needle is correct. And your bonus is in science. Name these types of chemical reactions from their examples. For your first bonus, zinc plus hydrochloric acid yields zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas.
Be single replacement, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
Single replacement.
Single replacement is correct. And your second bonus, ethanol plus oxygen yields carbon dioxide and water.
That's yeah, I think double, yeah.
Wait, no, plus oxygen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Double replacement.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's a combustion reaction. Toss-up 9, literature. This only god not to live on Mount Olympus owned a helmet that would make... Nick for Niceville.
Hades.
Hades is correct. Your bonus is in social studies. Name these African countries on the Atlantic Ocean. Your first bonus. This predominantly Muslim nation's capital is Rabat, and its largest city is Casablanca.
Oh, Morocco.
Yeah.
Morocco.
Morocco is correct. Your second bonus. 40 years have passed between 1822, when this country was established by the American Colonization Society, and 1862, when the U.S. recognized its independence.
Colony
It's the
Africa.
one where they tried to send all the
Liberia?
slave reformers. Yeah.
Liberia.
Liberia is correct. Toss-up 10, miscellaneous. Its original writers included Earl Hamner Jr., whose novel was the basis for the TV series The Waltons. When this show was revived in the 1980s, its writers included sci-fi great Harlan Ellison. One original episode of this series tells of aliens who provoke a neighborhood riot, while another... Is Devin for Niceville?
The Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone is correct. Your bonus is in language arts. Give the prefix that is added to each of these words to create its opposite. For example, if I said possible, you would say im to make it impossible. For your first bonus, appear.
Dis.
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 This is correct. And your second bonus, essential.
Non. Yeah.
Non.
Non is correct. Toss-up 11, social studies. On this Animals Day in 2019, India announced that there are 1/3 more of these animals in India now than there were 4 years ago. This country's conservation efforts include reserve areas where this animal can live by itself away from humans. Name this large cat. Is Nick for Niceville?
Tiger.
Tiger is correct. Your bonus is in math. Pencil and paper ready. Two of a rectangle's diagonally opposite corners are the points -11, 4, and 11, -4. Give the rectangles, for your first bonus, perimeter in units.
60. 60 units.
60 is correct. And for your second bonus, give the rectangles, let's see, the top right corner point after the whole rectangle is moved 6 units upward.
So top right corner would be 11.4, so moving up 6 would be 11.10. 11.10.
11:10 is correct. That is the end of the first half. We'll be right back with the scores, substitutions, and more action. Stay tuned.
I chose to come to collegiate high school because you get free college and your high school diploma at the same time, and that's the best opportunity for any high school student.
I wanted to grow as an individual, and so I decided to move here to not be grouped into these different categories that you'd find in like traditional high schools.
I came to collegiate because I wanted to get used to college work and just being in a college environment before I actually move on to a bigger university.
The thing that makes Collegiate High different from other schools in Okaloosa County is that we're a small school. Students that attend the Collegiate High School are not just a number. We know students by name because of the small school atmosphere.
Many students think that if you go to collegiate, you can't play sports, you can't be in music, you can't be a high school student, but I still went to homecoming. I still went to the football games, I had fun with all my friends, and collegiate doesn't take that away from you. It adds on to your amazing personality.
In order to be successful at Collegiate High School, motivation, student motivation. You have to be academically motivated because you'll be academically challenged.
But when you go to a university, they'll see that you're dedicated and you're willing to take the course load that you'll be taking.
Welcome back to the 2020 Okaloosa Schools Academic Tournament. We have a halftime score of Niceville 210 and Choctaw 30. We also have substitutions for Niceville. If you could introduce yourselves.
Zach Wen.
Allie Davis.
Thank you very much. Let's get on with the second half with a toss-up, language arts. Take a pot roast and marinate it for several days to create a German Sauerbraten. Spell Sauerbraten. Sorry, did not get that in. The correct answer is Sauerbraten. On to toss-up, science. A common one of these is known as TAE and combines acetic acid with 2 other chemicals. The capacity of this solution type is represented by the Greek letter beta and is calculated by titration. Its pH can be found by the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Human blood creates one of these using the bicarbonate ion and carbonic acid. Name this type of solution that resists change in pH. Isabella for Choctaw?
A buffer?
Buffer solution is correct. Your bonus is in social studies. Answer these about U.S. President Grover Cleveland for your first bonus. He spent almost a year as mayor of this city in upstate New York.
Albany.
Albany is incorrect. The answer is Buffalo. For your second bonus, this term was used to describe the Republicans that voted for him in 1884.
Half-breeds.
It's incorrect. It's mugwumps. On to a toss-up in math. The Toom-Cook algorithm is one way to speed this process. Methods of performing this process include shift and add, used by many computers, and using a grid to keep place values straight, as well as the long method that can be used. Nick for Niceville?
Division.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect and an interrupt. I'll repeat the entire question for Choctaw. The Toom-Cook algorithm is one way to speed this process. Methods of performing this process includes shift and add, used by many computers, and using a grid to keep place values straight, as well as the long method that can also be used with complex numbers and with polynomials. Identify this operation that creates products by repeated addition. Derek for Choctaw?
Multiplication.
Multiplication is correct. Your bonus is miscellaneous. Name these professional sports teams. For your first bonus, this American League baseball team began in 1962 as the Colt 45s.
Cleveland Indians.
It's incorrect. It's the Houston Astros. And your second bonus. When this team joined the NFL in 1968, its owner, Paul Brown, picked its feline team name instead of the Buckeyes name the fans chose.
Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals.
That is correct. Toss-up 15, social studies. Members of this subgroup adhere to the Quran alone, as opposed to members of the other major subgroup in Islam who revere holy men known as imams. Name this majority group within Islam that... Nick for Niceville?
Sunni.
Sunni is correct. Your bonus is in science. Measured in Siemens per meter, it is the degree to which a substance allows electricity to flow through it. For your first bonus, name this quantity.
Resistance.
That's all you.
Resistance.
Sorry, that's incorrect. It is conductivity. Your second bonus. This metal has the highest electrical conductivity of all elements, about 25% higher than gold and nearly 7 times as much as platinum.
Aluminum. I don't think it's any of those, but I'll say one of them. Which one? Copper. Copper.
I'm sorry, you did not get your answer in. The answer is silver. Toss-up 16, miscellaneous. Set up in a specific area of the field, every opponent must keep their distance from the ball while it occurs. What maneuver, considered a set piece in soccer because it is practiced in advance, is ordered by the referee whenever a defending team puts the ball over its goal line but outside its net? Allie for Niceville?
Corner kick?
Corner kick is correct. Your bonus is in fine arts. Name the German composers of these classical works. For your first bonus, Hebrides Overture and Overture to A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Brahms.
Sorry, that's incorrect. The answer is Felix Mendelssohn. And your second bonus, his symphony nicknamed Unfinished.
Mozart was Austrian, not Beethoven.
Austria back then
I
was
think
part of
Beethoven's
Germany.
right. Beethoven.
Sorry, that's incorrect. It's Franz Schubert. Toss-up 17, social studies. The Cisalpine Club of the 1790s argued for the rights of this group a decade after a mob united by hatred for this group burned down the house of Lord Mansfield. In 1829, a Relief Act allowed this religious group to finally have seats in Parliament, bringing about its namesake emancipation. What group whose religion was banned under Queen Elizabeth I now generally has great respect for Pope Francis? Nick for Niceville?
Roman Catholic.
That is correct, Roman Catholic Church. Bonus is in math, pencils and paper ready. At a carnival, Marcia throws 4 balls at a target and scores a total of 675 points. The second ball scored 25 points more than the first. The third scored 75 points more than the second, and the fourth scored 2.5 times as many points as the first. How many points did Marcia score with her, for your first bonus, first ball?
$210. That's not right. I said it anyways.
Okay, sorry, it's 100. Your second bonus is the second ball.
125.
Or is it 225?
It was 25 more than.
It's the first one, which is 125. 125.
125 is correct. Toss-up 18 is in science. In Einstein's field equations, this quantity is raised to the -4th power. When a particle in a medium surpasses this quantity for that medium, the result is Cherenkov radiation. The meter was recently redefined as a fraction of this quantity. Einstein hypothesized that energy is the product of mass and the square of what constant? Nick for Niceville.
Speed of light.
Speed of light is correct. Your bonus is in social studies. Answer these about national historic landmarks in Illinois. For your first bonus, the Charles Dawes House honors the Nobel Peace Prize winner who served as vice president in the 1920s under this Vermont native.
Under?
1920s presidents.
Coolidge,
Wilson.
Harding.
Who did Wilson?
Coolidge or Harding?
Oh,
Pick one. I defer to him.
Harding.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. The answer is Calvin Coolidge. Okay. And your second bonus. His house and shop in Grand Detour includes the place where he invented the steel plow.
Oh.
James Deere? Is it Deere?
No, not John Deere.
No, it's the other one. Oh my.
I'm going to say John Deere if we don't get anything
Say
better.
it.
John Deere.
John Deere is correct.
Okay, nice. Solid.
Toss-up 19, fine arts. His painting that depicts his adopted city of Toledo, Spain, shows its cathedral in a different location. His other works include St. Martin and the Beggar and The Nobleman with His Hand on His Chest. In his masterpiece, the massive The Burial of the Count of Orgaz, historians believe he painted himself looking directly at the viewer. Give this painter's well-known nickname a Spanish reference. Mason for Choctaw?
El Greco.
El Greco is correct. And your bonus is in language arts. Spell these verbs that mean to minimize or lessen. Your first bonus, assuage.
I defer to Derek.
Derek?
ASSUAGE.
That is correct. And your second bonus, mollify.
I'll also defer to Derek as well.
MULLIFY.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's MOLLIFY. Toss-up 20 in math. Pencils and paper ready. As a fraction, give the probability of rolling doubles 4 times in a row with a pair of 6-sided number cubes. Nick for Niceville?
1 in 1,296.
That is correct. Your bonus is in social studies. He killed his heir in a rage, leading to the ascension of the incompetent Fyodor Ivanovich to the throne. For your first bonus, name this Russian ruler, the first to call himself Tsar, who used his Oprichnik secret police to assassinate his opponents.
Is it
Nicholas
Nicholas or
is the
Ivan the
last
Terrible?
No, it's Ivan the Terrible, I think.
Yeah,
Oh.
just go with it.
Ivan.
The two.
More specific,
The
please.
Terrible.
Yes, Ivan the Terrible or Ivan the Fourth. And your second bonus. Fyodor Ivanovich was the last Tsar of Russia's Rurik dynasty. The 15 years after his death was a time of troubles that ended in 1613 when Michael, the first of this new Russian dynasty, came to power.
Romanov.
Romanov is correct. That is the end of the match. We will be right back with the scores. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the 2020 Okaloosa Schools Academic Tournament. We have a final in Match 7, Niceville with 295 points, Choctaw with 80 points, and Choctaw is eliminated. Niceville moves on to the next round, and we'd like to thank our sponsors, Microsystems and General Dynamics. Stay tuned next time for more action.